Thanks for joining us for the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani Saint-Jean. Coming up, Dominica's head of state advises youth of the Operation Youthquake, Youth Week and Global Entrepreneurship Week to commence November 17th, and government signs a $5 million agreement with the NDFD for growth of the small business sector. Stay with us for details of these and other interesting stories after the break.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
The Dominica Labour Party, in its quest to rehabilitate the island's road network, has sought to address the conditions of the Tetmon Road. On Monday, November 11, 2013, Parliamentary Representative for the Grand Bay constituency, Honorable Justina Charles, presented a check in the amount of $153,215.65 to Chairman of the Tetmon Village Council, Barnabas Abraham. To date, government has invested heavily in the rehabilitation of the Tetmon Road.
And this money was made available so that we can address the road situation in Tetmon, which is in the vicinity of the primary school to James Alexander's home. And I must say, if we are to sum up the amount of monies that have been spent on road improvement in Tetmon, I can say that we have spent in excess of $730,259.65.
This presentation brings the amount spent on road rehabilitation in that area to over $700,000. Minister Charles highlighted several other road projects that have been undertaken in that vicinity.
If I am to detail that expenditure, we can recall that over $21,000 was spent on the Tetmon, near the Tetmon Resource Center, from Mr. Alexander to Tetmon itself, to higher up in Tetmon. The total of $200,000 was spent in that area. And most recently, even before that one, was the Ravin Banan Road, which was in a deplorable condition, and we remember that there was issue with it, and as parliamentary representative, I know it was affecting me personally and the constituents, and so government made available $226,044 for the improvement of that section in Ravin Banan to the Grand Colibri River, and the entrance to Mountain was spent lately $130,000. So all of that brings up totals $730,259.65. That is in addition to the latest presentation to the chairman of the village council.
The unpredictability of the global economic situation has not been a deterrent to the Labour Party administration, and the minister confirms that work will continue. In fact, the Lale Road, the main road in Grand Bay, will soon receive some attention.
The money has been made available, it has been approved, and we know that the pipes have been ordered, and so as soon as the pipes are available, work will commence on the Grand Bay, on the Lale Road. But before all of that is done, we will be convening meetings in Grand Bay, jointly the WASCO, myself, Public Works, so that we can solicit the cooperation of the Grand Bay public, because we know it is going to create some level of inconvenience. And so Grand Bay, in the Lale, we will see road improvement beginning definitely before the end of the year.
With the commencement of these new projects, employment opportunities are set to be created. The minister urged the young people of Grand Bay to put their names forward to the village council for employment.
To the Tetmon and Mountain young fellas, I'm saying there's an opportunity now to contact the village council and Mr. Alexander so that they can become gainfully employed, short-term employment, and then in Granby we will start towards the end of the year. So I'm happy to report that to the Granby community.
During the period that work will be undertaken, the minister solicits the cooperation of road users and the community at large. Dominicans wishing to open small businesses or access funds to sustain their already existing small businesses can look forward to realizing their goal. The government of Dominica continues to make good on its promise to stimulate the local economy through the small business sector. In his 2013 Independence Day address, Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt announced that funds would be made available to the National Development Foundation of Dominica to provide loans at reduced interest rate to the small business sector. On Friday, the first tranche of $2 million of a $5 million agreement between the government of Dominica and the NDFD was officially handed over to the chairman of the NDFD.
We're here today to provide or to hand over a check of $2 million to the Dominica National Development Foundation of Dominica, a loan from the Dominica National Petroleum Company, which is a wholly owned state company. And the loan will be at 3% interest. So we're lending to the NDFD at 3% interest. And I have no doubt that the board of management, they're very pleased about this interest rate, because I'm not sure where else they could get that interest rate from anybody else. And my understanding is that they will lend to the prospective applicants at a maximum of 6.5%.
Funds were made available by the government of Dominica through the Dominica National Petroleum Company. Chairman of the DNCP, Ambassador Felix Gregoire, listed a number of investments the company has made in the economy.
Through the DNPC, Dominican National Petroleum Company, the government has made significant investments towards economic and social programs being implemented in this country. These investments have been made in the water, housing, education, agriculture, transportation, recreation, and business sectors. It is important to note that emphasis has been placed on programs aimed at benefiting the youth of our beloved country, Dominica. Today, we signed a loan agreement in the amount of $5 million. This amount will no doubt give a boost to small businesses in Dominica. And I am pleased, very pleased, to be associated with this event.
Chairman of the National Development Foundation, Oliver Henderson, highlighted that the funds, which will be loaned out at an interest rate of 6.5%, will serve as a growth driver for the economy.
These funds being loaned today are intended to generate maximum effect to the local economy, as the productive sector is the one which is being targeted to be the growth driver. This will therefore result in the creation of jobs and the generation of wealth, as the small businesses will seek to employ persons to carry out their activities. The NDFD is therefore grateful to the government of Dominica through the DNPC for providing the funds which is intended to stimulate socio-economic growth on the island through the provision of this loan facility at an interest rate which will allow it to make funding available at as low as 6.5%. I therefore thank on behalf of the board and management of the NDFD, the government and the DNPC for their confidence in the NDFD, and assures them that the funds will be properly utilized to bring about most needed growth to our economy.
The NDFD has been in existence for over 30 years. The chairman assured that the organization's mandate is to contribute to poverty reduction and human resource development on a national level by mobilizing funds for the provision of credit, business advisory services, and training primarily to the micro and small business sectors. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, in addressing the ceremony, spoke of the challenges facing many countries internationally and even in the region. He added that in this time of global economic challenge, Dominica has been able to stay afloat as government continues to create initiatives for the well-being of the citizens of Dominica. In other news, children of the Operation Youthquake have been asked to embrace the second chance which has been given to them by the Operation Youthquake. President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre, made the call when he visited the institution on Thursday. For over 19 years, the Operation Youthquake has provided daycare and short-term residential care to young children who are abused, deprived, neglected, or in some form of predicament. The President encouraged the 12 residents to use the opportunity while at the Operation Youthquake to positively transform their lives.
We believe as a society that everybody deserves a second chance, so that if there are difficulties, there may be difficulties at home, there may be difficulties in the society, there may be difficulties that cause you to be engaged in activities which the society does not support. We believe that an opportunity should be provided where you can perhaps recognize where you have gone wrong. You're given an opportunity to set it right and to look forward to a full and complete life as a positive member of the society, making a contribution and reaping the rewards.
The President admonished the young people to use this second chance as an opportunity to move on from negative situations in their lives. He reiterated his point by saying that many prominent individuals in society have had difficult situations growing up. However, they were able to make a turnaround for the better. He appealed to the children to do the same.
There are many people who today are prominent members of society who in their earlier lives may have had unfortunate experiences. But they were given a second chance. They embraced the second chance. Because if you're given a second chance and you do not embrace it, then that second chance is wasted. You have yourself got to want to take advantage of a second chance and to do something with that opportunity which is given to you, so that unfortunate incidents do not dominate your life, but the opportunities that you have been given are the things that will be the building blocks of the life which you will develop for yourself.
The President praised the Operation Youthquake for its role in providing a second chance to disadvantaged children in Dominica.
Board of Directors and the staff of Operation Youthquake, I believe that it is God's work that you're doing, assisting persons, young people in our society who have been challenged. And for every person whom you succeed in putting on a firm path towards self-development, that in itself is a major achievement.
Meanwhile, President Savre on Thursday had the opportunity to interact with the 12 residents of the Operation Youthquake. During the interaction, he responded to questions posed to him by the students about the presidency, the government of Dominica, and the Constitution of Dominica. The highlight of Thursday's visit, however, was a financial presentation made by the President to management of the Operation Youthquake. The donation came from proceeds of the annual President's Charities Dinner.
The President's charity is proud and pleased to be able to make a contribution towards that effort. The contribution that we can make will not solve all of your problems, but we are hoping that it will be a significant contribution towards solving your problems.
In related news, it was all smiles at the Mount Carmel Retirement Home, formerly Green Hill in Mount Daniel, on Thursday afternoon when Dominica's head of state, His Excellency Charles Savre, made a special visit to that institution bearing goodies. The president, along with his wife, during the visit, interacted with the 8 residents of the home and made a financial donation to the institution, compliments the president's charity foundation. His Excellency Savre, in his remarks, said the work of charitable institutions such as the Mount Carmel Retirement Home is valuable and appreciated.
The President's Foundation seeks to be able to assist these charitable organizations. We have severe limitations in what we can do, but we are happy to do as much as we can. And from the funds which are raised primarily through the President's dinner, we are able to make a token contribution to these institutions that are so valuable in our society.
The president, through his office, also promised the consignment of toiletries to be donated to the home. Manager of the Mount Carmel Retirement Home, Gloria Christian, expressed heartfelt thanks on behalf of management and residents of the home for the timely donation.
Thank yous are never enough at such moments, but they're always very appropriate, and it is good manners, I'm sure Mr. President will agree, to say thank you. Thank you, sir, for, first of all, the members of the foundation who always consider Mount Carmel. Thank you. No matter what it is still a lot for us in the work that we do here. Currently, we have 8 residents. They're not inmates, they're residents at various stages of dependency. And we work with them together with a staff complement of about 7. And we are indeed grateful for this token of your appreciation, your thoughtfulness, and making the extra effort and time to come up and do it in person. So at least they too can still feel, wherever they are, they can still feel, oh yes, our president is here, yes, I know him. Thanks so much for that bit of interaction with us as well.
In the coming days, the president will be making similar donations to organizations such as the Grotto Home for the Homeless, the Alpha Center, the Workshop for the Blind, and the Dominica Infirmary. He will end his courtesy visits at the Princess Margaret Hospital on December 12, 2013. In more news, the Youth Development Division and its partners will, this year, combine Youth Week and Global Entrepreneurship Week under the theme Celebrating Youth, Creativity, Passion, and Participation. Beginning Sunday, November 17th, with an economical service at the Fatima Catholic Church in Newtown, the week's activities will feature 11 diverse and engaging events. GIS spoke with Chief Youth Development Officer John Roach on Friday. According to him, one of the event's objectives is to showcase youth in business and market their products. He listed others.
We haven't had Youth Week for many, many years, and I decided as the head of the division, I'm just taking over about a year now, that I decided Youth Week is an activity. I remember how I got in touch with the Youth Development Division was through Youth Week. So I think it's something that's important, where you have a week to showcase the work of young people in different sectors. So it's an opportunity to promote the positive side of young people. Because too often, we hear of the negative side. It's also an opportunity to consult our young people, because the whole idea of the symposium and the idea of the employment consultation is to meet with our young people to find out exactly what are their issues, what are their concerns, what it is that is preventing them from getting a good job, what are their skills, what areas of training they're looking for to make themselves more marketable. So it's while we want to promote and celebrate the work that young people are doing, we also want to meet the young people to consult with them and to find out how we can help them even more, to make them more effective in the different sectors in development.
The week's activities include a cricket match between youth and cabinet on Sunday at 2:30 p.m.
It is almost like a traditional thing that we try to engage the politicians so that people see a different side of the politicians. Too often we see the serious side of politicians, and we see this side where politicians try to put laws in place, to govern the country and so on. But politicians are human beings like us, and politicians, they need some time to recreate, and they need some time, to socialize, especially with young people. So it's really an opportunity to show that side of politicians, as well as to engage some young teams. For example, one of the teams that will be participating in the activity is the Grassroots Cricket Academy, and is a group of very young people that Sharon Gregoire is working with. So they're going to get an opportunity, probably some of them it will be their first time getting so close with probably Prime Minister or some of the politicians, and opportunity to have fun.
An address by Honorable Justina Charles, Minister for Youth Affairs, will be aired on Monday via DBS Radio. On that same day, Roseau Youth will open themselves up to observers and visitors at the Roseau Youth Center from 10 a.m.
We have young people involved in what we call the Roseau Life Skills Program, which is different from the Youth Skills Training Program. It's a program that targeting what we call at-risk youth. Usually some of them are young people who've been in problems with the law. And it's an opportunity to rehabilitate these young people. And in rehabilitating young people, it's not a matter of trying to counsel them and get them to change their behavior, but also to provide them with certain skills that some of them lack, and that probably causing them to behave the way they behave in. So they are involved in woodwork, in cooking, in music, in sports. They're involved in a variety of activities, skills development activities at the Roseau Youth Center. So the open day will be an opportunity to show the media and show the public and show the politicians what it is that they engage in and how they've moved. They started in September, and it's a one-year program. At least during the open day, they will be able to show the level of what they have accomplished during the first part of the program.
Following that activity, a bus shelter will be commissioned and the youth development consultation will kick off in Grand Bay. Naturally, the Youth Development Division, along with its main partners, the National Youth Council and the Dominica Youth Business Trust, solicit the support of the public on this week-long venture to showcase young entrepreneurs. GIS will bring you more from that interview in a subsequent newscast. Nurse, midwife, and ward manager at the Princess Margaret Hospital, Deborah Roach Phillip, has been entrusted with the responsibility to lead the Dominica Nurses Association as president for the next 2 years. Nurse Phillip took up her position during an inauguration ceremony to install a new executive of Dominica Association of Nurses on Friday afternoon. Nurse Phillip says first on her agenda will be to address the need for an office building to facilitate effective functioning of the affairs of the association. She noted that the association during its new term will work towards achieving 100% membership and empowering its members through continuing education. The Dominica Nurses Association was formed 57 years ago with the mission to work with the government and other authorities to provide the best possible health care for Dominicans. The new president said the association will also continue to foster greater collaboration with the Public Service Union to address the concerns of members. Other members of the executive include Julie Blaise as first vice president, Kenithia Nicholas as second vice president, Diane Cornelius as secretary, Minion Roll Shillingford as treasurer, Collins Lloyd as assistant secretary treasurer, and Alison Samuel as public relations officer. And that's all for the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, membre parlement pour Gouambé, Honorable Justina Charles, fait présentation l'argent par village consul Tête-Mon pour ranger chemin village là. Honorable Charles fait présentation ça là lundi qui passé.
Moi, quand parle web en Grand Bay constituency, moi présenté chairman Tête-Mon Village Council M. Abraham, avait un chèque 100 avait 53 200 avait $215 et 65 cents. Nous bail ça c'est pour manger un morceau chimé en Tête-Mon, ça c'est pour l'école primaire pour monter pour kaiping. Non, chimé là, il y a deux trois côtés chimé là qui mauvais pour à présent. Et ça nous qu'a fait c'est pour adresser ou là qui plus mauvais because nous sommes dans manière économie à présent nous pas ça fait tout en seul coup so nous ca adresser la chimie la plus mauvais so nous ca faire ça so village council la mon bail check la lundi et va yo ca commencer travail en les chimie là contracteur là c'est monsieur Joseph Alexander il c'est moun Montini même avec mon ca dit ça sont opportunité pour jeune moun Tête-Mon travailler avec monsieur Alexander pour manger ti morceau chimé ça là mon le qui est en l'air c'est moun qui ni voiture bus drivers avec tout le monde qui servi chimé pour yo coopérer avec village council avec monsieur Alexander pour because chimé là mauvais il create un petit problème pour yo so yo supposé comprendre nous que ni timiet embarrassement pendant que nous travaillons les chimé là so mon le demander yo pour coopérer avec ces moun qui travaillent les chimé.
Dans notre nouvelle division GNS qui tient diverses activités pour célébrer semaine GNS à Dominique. Parole là sorti du chef division là, M. John Roach.
C'est une semaine là nous allons célébrer travail jeunes gens à Dominique en toutes différentes façons, tous différents secteurs. Film là pour thème là pour semaine là, c'est nous allons célébrer jeunes gens, passion et participation. Et aussi creativity. C'est une opportunité pour nous montrer ça nous qui est un positive side of jeune monde parce que autant fois nous avons c'est mauvais côté yoka portrait. So c'est une semaine là nous allons fait en collaboration avec National Youth Council et puis Dominica Youth Business Trust. Et pas juste semaine jeunes seulement, mais c'est semaine global. Tout le monde la terre, on implique 140 pays où la terre qui célèbre Global Entrepreneurship Week. C'est pour célébrer jeunes gens qui ont fait business. Et Dominique, c'est un de ces pays qui part of Global Entrepreneurship Week international team là. Et dimanche, nous avons commencé avec un masse, la messe en Fatima Newton. Et là, nous avons Branca John, Father Branca John, qui a célébré avec jeune gens tout le monde Dominique. Et après-midi, dimanche après-midi, nous avons joué un cricket game à Windsor Park là, et puis cabinet. Pour nous mêler avec ces politiciens, ces gens qui ont faire décision comment pays a qui courir et pour comment yo interact avec jeunes gens.
En d'autres nouvelles, mesdames, messieurs, ministre énergie Honorable Raymond Blackmore représentait Dominique en grande discussion programme énergie qui prend place à Babad, Algérie. CARICOM Secretariat qui organise discussion cela, tant présentation hors officier Jamaïque, Belize et puis Babad même. Pendant discussion cela, ils ont discuté énergie renouvelable, affaires législation et puis expérience Dominique qui a concerné énergie renouvelable. Ils ont aussi discuté politique qui a gouverné l'énergie en ces différents pays-là, en Caraïbes en général. Affaires pour transformer landscape énergie renouvelable aussi discuté. Finalement, messieurs et mesdames, compagnie de Wasco qui a continué à bâtir système Bluetooth en pays-là. Selon l'officier relations publiques Edward Registre, projet West Coast qui marche bien.
Nous avons bâti un intake neuf avec différentes facilités pour manager Glo. Nous avons fait ça deux côtés à ce West Coast pays. Ça c'est en Picard avec Colibistry. Ça a allé bien. Nous sommes bien contents de la manière qui a marché. Avec plus tard, qui a allé en troisième phase. J'ai fait première phase là à présent. Il a fini deuxième phase là, il a été lié ces pipes là hot barri pour capuchin, ça a fini. À présent, première phase là, a continué, il a bâti des intake neuf avec différentes facilités, comme tank avec différents habitats. Avec troisième là, c'est pour ça bâti 9 différents storage tanks. Avec le gouvernement content en parlement, pour tuer l'argent pour commencer à faire troisième phase là. Troisième phase là, c'est contribution gouvernement pour grand projet ça. Nous trouvons là en European Union 21 millions de dollars pour faire ça avec le gouvernement pour tuer 9 millions de dollars, pour faire 30 millions de dollars en tout. Donc ça, projet ça a continué.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour Nouvelle Créole pour à présent. Non, moi, c'est McPherson, c'est Luce. Et bon week-end. Au revoir.
Thank you, Jana. Coming up next, the tip of the day.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
All vegetable oils have a different nutrient content and specific uses in cooking. Although cooking oils are very similar in their calorie content, the nutrient content varies quite significantly from one oil to the next. All oils containing varying amounts of saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, and polyunsaturated fat. Many of us are getting too many omega-6 fatty acids and not enough omega-3 fatty acids, throwing the ratio of the two off. It's recommended we increase our intake of monounsaturated fats in whole foods such as olive oil and canola oil, while minimizing our intake of corn, soybean, and safflower oils, which are high in omega-6 fats. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Kimani Serja. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.